Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's time for a brake pad change and a brake fluid flush on my 09 R1200RT. I have a set of new front pads, a set of new rear ones. It ran me about $89 on motosport.com. So let's get this changed and we'll be good for another 1,000 whatever miles. Okay, so we're going to do a brake flush today. And this is a 2009 R1200RT. If you have a 2007, I believe, or older, you probably have the servo-assisted brakes. How do you know if you have those? When you turn your key on, you hit your brakes, you hear a whining sound. That's the servo assisting. And as far as I understand, you cannot flush the brakes yourself. You need a special tool or equipment to do that, to get all the fluid out and make sure it's bled properly. So, just a little caveat. These are not servo-assisted brakes, so I'm able to do it, you're able to do it. It's relatively easy. If you can do it on your car or truck, it's the same concept, same principle, no biggie. Okay, we're going to do the back ones first. First thing you need to do is pop your seat and get down in here. This is our rear brake fluid reservoir. See, mine is kind of low. Just pop that cap off so that the fluid will drain out. I'm using it's called a Mighty Vac. I'll show it to you here in a second. Essentially, what we're going to do is I'm going to just pull all the old fluid out. It'll be done right here. You take this nipple cap thing off, put it somewhere you're not going to lose it. You're going to need an 8mm to crack the bleeder open, and then Mighty Vac, which is this doohickey. This is an old one. It's been well used. We're going to put that over here, pump it up, create a vacuum, and then, oops, sorry about that. And then opening this valve, all the fluid will rush out. There's a pin right here that just pulls out. Pair of needle nose pliers. Set those aside somewhere. They're not going to get lost. Okay, I was able to use this little pin drift and simply punch this rod out here. It's not screwed in, it's a spring fit, kind of friction fit thing. So pull that out, pads will drop out. Now you can see the piston's been pushed back in. I'm just going to get a little bit of grease and put back here and on the pin so that it can move freely, and then we'll bleed them. Okay, before we go too far here, I thought I would compare the old and the new. You can see how thick and how thin the old ones are. That's not even the really bad one. Here's the really bad one. Still some friction pad left there, but almost down to the metal, so glad I checked it. Alright, brake and caliper grease, just a dab on the backs, on the whatever you call this side here, and then a little bit on the pin, and it'll be good to go. Okay, I greased it all up. Make sure that it's locked in back there. Push this pin in as far as you can. Then you're going to have to convince it a little bit to go the rest of the way. There's probably a better way to do this, but it's what I got. Alright, that actually went in a lot easier than I thought it was going to. And the clip goes in like that. Make sure your brakes, your pads are spread apart. Spread the brakes apart. Line them up carefully and they slip right on. Make sure you torque these bolts back to their specified value. I don't know what it is right now. I'll have to look it up. But that's it. Now I'm just going to, off camera, I'll torque these down. And then I'll bleed the brakes. Okay, the next thing to do is, with a new bottle of DOT 4 brake fluid, I'm going to clean this out, make sure there's no dirt in there. Make sure you didn't put any dirt in there with a dirty rag. That would be bad. You're going to fill this up, bleed it, fill it, bleed it, fill it, bleed it. So, also, do not spill this on any painted surface. It will cause paint to peel and be a mess. Hopefully I can do this one-handed. Since I drained it all out of the line, filling that up to the very top, I'm going to go down here. That's tight. Hook up my Mighty Vac. Get rid of this thing here. May not be able to do this on camera, but obviously I'm going to build up a suction. Crack the bleeder. Let it pull the air out. Now the front brakes are even easier. See, I've removed the reservoir cover. I've already done one side, so worked all the bugs out. But seriously, it was about as simple as can be. Use the Mighty Vac to drain all the fluid. You literally take this you take this pin out. In fact, I'll do that right now. And just do it by hand. Take that pin off. Take this bolt out. This retaining pin comes off. The brake pads slide out, put the new ones in, reassembly. It's literally that easy. But if you want to watch, here it goes. Just gonna make sure I drain all the rest of the fluid out of this one side. I've already cracked it open. I just want all the old fluid out. It's pretty much empty. So, here we go. Out. Okay, take this out. The great thing is you have the other side for a reference if you need it. That pin comes out. This just rests in here. It's real self-explanatory, actually. Brake pads wiggle out. There are pistons on both sides. You know, I should have done that. Sorry. Use these to push the pistons back in. There are pistons on both sides, so it makes more sense to do it that way. New one's in, done.